All right, everybody, welcome back to OffBeat Sports Podcast. I'm back with Aidan. What's going on?
Not much, man. It's been a while since our last episode, so good to
Yeah,
be
I
back.
know. Busy times, but the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. How we feeling?
Feeling good. A lot of people saying years ahead of schedule. So even I think Elliot Wolf had a quote this week as saying like he wasn't expecting to be here this week, but here we are.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy ride. I mean, the long win streak and people talking about the schedule. But I mean, you play who's in front of you and you win games, you make it here, right? I mean, and now
Right.
you get a chance to win the big one against a tough team, and you got to put it all together now.
Right. I mean, all you can do is just play who's in front of you. They've done that all season long. And I mean, when you make it to the Super Bowl, I always say throw the whole schedules, everything that's got you up to this point, just out the window. You just got to win one football game any given Sunday. As Patriot fans, we know what it looks like when, an underdog team can come in and upset the large favorite. So honestly, anything can happen in this game. They just got to go out and save their best stuff for last.
And honestly, like I don't love the schedule conversation because I mean, if you look at it, we've played pretty much all of the top defenses, not just in the playoffs, which the playoffs we've had a gauntlet, but in the regular season too. Like some of those bad teams that really, yeah, they're not good, but some of those bad teams had top 10 ranked defenses and we were lighting it up against them. So it's kind of like, what are we looking at? Because you're saying, oh, Drake May is only beating crappy teams. But Drake May is going up against their defense. Drake May is beating their defense. So where is this conversation? Like, are we talking
Exactly.
about? What are we talking about? That's my
Yeah, and to
logic.
kind of go off of that too, like I fully agree. I saw a stat today too on Twitter that was saying that I think up to this point, Drake May has faced every single starter on the AFC Pro Bowl defense up to this point in the season. So the whole schedule argument really just doesn't make sense because yeah, it's like, if anything knocked their defense for playing against subpar offenses, he's gone out there against number one defense this postseason, number two defense this postseason, and a slew of good defenses in the regular season. I mean, look at the Cleveland Browns, the perfect example of, a subpar offense with an elite level defense. And he had, I think, the most passing yards of any.
Defensive player of the year, rookie,
Yeah.
defensive player of
Like
the year.
they're stacked on defense, but he showed up and had one of the best performances of any quarterback against them this season. So I never really understood the schedule argument. I think it more so comes from fans of teams that don't want to see the Patriots being back. But I think up to this
It's
point they've like
it's
pretty
also
much
paper
aced every test.
watchers.
So
I mean, it's also
yeah,
paper watchers. They don't watch the games. They see Patriots versus Browns and think that's the easiest matchup in the world. But I mean, yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying it wasn't a hard, like, I'm not saying it
Mhm.
was some incredibly hard game. It was still on the easier side, but that's a good defense that we put up a good amount of points on. Like, you got to look at it from a farther back standpoint, and then you look at the playoffs. I mean, everyone everyone's saying, "Oh, we played nobody," but before these games. Everybody was picking the Texans. People were picking the
Yep.
Chargers. People were picking the Broncos to upset because of these defenses. And everybody was like, oh, the Texans might make a run to the Super Bowl because of how strong this defense has been if Stroud can put it together. But we made Stroud look completely foolish because what, he turned the ball over 5 times?
Five
And,
turnovers. Yep.
and, sorry, Bulls just traded Vucevic for Simons and a second round pick. That's separate. But, but, oh my God, that just threw me off.
Little Celtics break in the middle of the Pats
Yeah,
episode, but
Celtics break. That's I don't love it, but all right. Anyway, yeah, like everyone was picking these teams, and then when we light them up and make them look stupid, like it just doesn't make any sense to me. And
right.
yeah,
And
the defense carried us a bit through the playoffs, but that's gonna happen. Happen to Brady.
yeah, and just like I kind of go off of like just the arguments in general people will make like moving the goalposts. Like I heard, like you said, all of a sudden, before the playoffs, everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna lose in the wild card. You guys aren't getting out of the wild card." And now all of a sudden, no, Justin Herbert sucks in the playoffs, so that one doesn't count. Oh, but the Texans defense is this good, but now all of a sudden, CJ Stroud is the worst quarterback in the NFL, and if it was anyone else, then they would have lost. So seems the goalposts just keep moving based on whoever they play. There were analysts that picked Denver to beat them, even with Stidham, and now, oh, it's a backup, so that win
Hmm.
doesn't count either. What's it going to be when, if the Pats win the Super Bowl, it's going to be Sam Darnold was the quarterback, like he's a fraud, like one good season. So like the
Yeah.
people will move the goalpost no matter what they do. At the end of the day, you just got to win the games. It's all that
I mean,
matters.
it's what happened to the Celtics a couple of years ago, right? Like, I mean, you play who's in front of you, and some of these teams are tougher than they get, and then they get credit for. I mean, you gotta look at it this way. I mean, what are the thoughts on the schedule before they play the games is my question. Because before the season, we projected what, 8 wins? Like, and
Maybe not even. I think
this,
the under was
yeah,
favored, maybe 7.
yeah, and the schedule didn't change. Like it's not like anything changed for this. It's still the same exact schedule we had before the season.
Yeah, and it's the fact that I mean you've had 8 wins combined the past 2 seasons, and I didn't hear any complaints about how easy their last place schedule was the last couple years, and people knew that this was their schedule going into the year and still projected
Yeah,
them to win 7 or 8 games. I mean, even on our episode, like I think when we did our preseason win projections, we were on the optimistic side of maybe like 10 or 11 wins. So, I mean, we knew the schedule going
yeah.
in,
I
but the
think I
team has
said 10. I
exceeded
think I said 10.
expectations.
Yeah, and it's just it's crazy to me. It really is. It's I don't love it. But let's look at this game. So we got the Seahawks, right? And again, another dominant defense, both up front and in the secondary, with some young studs and in the secondary. But I still like it. I mean, it's Sam Darnold. I know he's having a great season. He's made complete resurgence in his career. But like, what's to stop? Like, what's to stop the Patriots from giving him a little PTSD, right? Like,
Right, right. And I think a key talking point, I think I haven't really heard any of the talking heads on ESPN or analysts talking about is I don't think Seattle has faced a defense as good as the Patriots. If not all season, definitely in the playoffs. Because I mean, you got to think like that Niners defense was missing half their starters. Their whole team was injured, so you can kind of throw that out as just playing against a lot of backups. And that Rams defense just has not looked the same since their bye. Like you can crunch the
hmm.
numbers, but I mean, look at Carolina. Shout out Jalen Coker. They shredded that Rams defense, and so it just goes to show that Seattle hasn't. I feel like they haven't really been pushed by a good defense, that offense. And you get a team like the Patriots that's red hot right now on defense. They've locked up a few former Pro Bowlers. I mean, if they're making Herbert and Stroud, look dazed at the coverages or whatever they're throwing out there, then Darnold definitely will have to pick that defense apart in a way that other guys haven't been able to do. And when you get a guy like Gonzo, you can kind of shadow JSN a little bit as well. It could make things difficult for the Seattle offense, which could be a big factor in deciding this game.
Yeah, and I just I struggle seeing Darnold up on the podium after the game holding the trophy. That's where what I keep coming back to is he enough? Which I mean, we struggled seeing Nick Foles do it in 2018 or is that 18? Yeah, 2018 or
Yeah.
17, whatever it was. I mean, but it should be good. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think people are saying, like, I saw the top six alternate line bets were all like Seahawks, like anywhere from -6.5 to -13.5. Like, I, I think people are underestimating us solely because we were terrible last year. This is a different team. That defense is different. Got a lot of new faces. We're actually healthy for the first time in a while, or healthy-ish. People are going to play, which has been kind of inconsistent lately. And the offense, yeah, hasn't been in your face wow, but they've gotten the job done. And Drake May is due. He's due for a game, and I'm feeling it in this one.
Right. And I think what kind of goes over a lot of people's heads is, he hasn't had the best stat lines per se in this playoff run, but when he's had to make plays to, potentially decide a game, he's been able to. I mean, look at the rollout in the
Yeah,
AFC
called his own
Championship to
name.
clinch, some of his big runs against the Chargers, that throw to Booty in the Texans game. So when he is forced to make a good play that could make or break a game. He's shown up time and time again throughout his short career up to this point. So I figure when the lights are brightest, the Super Bowl, I would expect nothing but a great performance from him based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, so I mean, we look at it and we see Patriots at plus 4.5. Are you hitting that? I mean, I think that's a pretty large, like, I mean, I think if they're gonna lose, it's gonna be, I think it'll be by a field goal. Like, I don't think there's gonna be some blowout game for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't see it being a big game. Both these teams, I think I saw a stat. It was the Seahawks have lost their 3 games by like a combined 9 points. I think the Pats haven't lost by more than a touchdown in any game either. So I think this will be a real chess match of, going right down to the wire. Both teams well coached, well disciplined. So I definitely would be taking the 4.5 points there. It easily could come down to a field goal at the end of the game to decide the champion.
Hmm. All right. Well, I'm really hoping for another Super Bowl win in my lifetime. So if we can get one right here, that'd be nice. I mean, and I believe in the team and believe in Vrabel and May, and let's hope they can get it done.
Yeah, just gotta believe, but definitely don't take these trips for granted. I mean, I've seen stories as well. I mean, just look at like Dan Marino's career makes the Super Bowl and either I can't remember if it was his first or second year. Like they were ahead of schedule, lost the Super Bowl, and then never were able to win the AFC again. So definitely was not expecting them to make it this far, but when you get to the Super Bowl, you have to take advantage of it. And really would like to see them get ring number 7, right? Yeah, number
Yeah,
7.
7. All right. Well, we'll see how they do on Sunday, but thank you for joining me and thanks everybody for watching and listening and be sure to check us out on Instagram at offbeat_sports. We'll see you next time.
Call him off text.